Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Funhaus Podcast with your co-hosts, Ryan Haley and Lindsay Washburn.
Hi.
Now, this is my week to produce this, and I have to make a confession to Lindsay. I was really lazy, and I didn't get around to ever writing the podcast we're going to do.
You wrote the other ones that we did?
Yes, they were meticulously written.
Okay.
But word for word. However, it's 2023, y'all. We don't have to literally do anything ever again because we have artificial intelligence to do our jobs for us. So I don't think we really touched on this much, but obviously it's been around for a few months now. But ChatGPT is a thing.
Gee, that's like it writes things for you.
It writes whatever you want, any prompt you want, and so therefore I have gotten it to write our podcast today. This is an AI generated podcast.
Rick, you need to cut to your own reaction right now.
Are you sure this is going to go well, Ryan?
Well, no. Well, yes, because I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do shit. And here we are. This is what I put. Write an intro for the Funhaus Podcast between hosts Ryan and Lindsay. And this is what I got. So everyone, here's the new intro. This is the beginning of the podcast. Welcome to the Funhaus Podcast, where two of the funniest hosts in the business, Ryan and Lindsay, they wrote this for us. I didn't tell them that. Come together to bring you the latest in pop culture, gaming, and internet happenings. Get ready for a wild ride of laughs, witty commentary, and unexpected tangents as Ryan and Lindsay take on the world one episode at a time. Whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer to the show, strap in and get ready for a nonstop barrage of humor and good times. This is the Funhaus Podcast.
What? Did you tell them our names?
All I said is Ryan and Lindsay and Funhaus Podcast, and they wrote all of that.
Ryan and Lindsay.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? I actually, I'm glad you think it's cool because
pop culture gaming and internet happenings.
Yeah, they wrote all of that. But now, Lindsay, the first one I did this twice.
Oh, okay.
They kind of wrote it in your voice.
So I read this one?
So I basically wrote, it's just a few little subtle different. I write an intro for the Funhaus Podcast between hosts Lindsay and Ryan. All I did was switch up the order of the names at the end.
Okay.
Go for it.
Welcome to the Funhaus Podcast. Hang on a second. Welcome to Funhaus, the podcast where laughter meets gaming, tech, and all things pop culture. I'm your host, Lindsay, and joining me today is the one and only Ryan.
That's me.
We've got a lot of exciting things to share with you guys today, so sit back, relax, and get ready for some laughs and good times. Whether you're a diehard gamer or just a fan of all things tech and entertainment, we've got you covered. So, Ryan, what do you have in store for our listeners today?
I'm so glad you asked me that, Lindsay. That's going to tee us right into our discussion.
Also, who's listening to this podcast for tech info? You should find another podcast.
It's kind of tech
so
related.
Funny.
Wait, Ryan.
What?
Is there a jingle or an intro song that you have listed or ready to go for this one?
Unfortunately, AI generated music is not really as advanced as you would like. I did make them write a song that we'll get into later.
Okay.
So I did kind of do that, but it's just lyrics. We would have to provide the actual music ourselves. Okay. So let's see here. So basically, we have a few guests coming in today to talk about various topics.
Okay.
But I think our first little topic, just me and you are going to discuss, is AI. What we're talking about right now, or what we're talking through right now. Because, there's lots of interesting ethical problems, or not even problems, but, situations now with the advancement of AI. Concerns, things. And so another thing I got the AI to do is to make a list of AI questions for me.
Okay. Did you have to pay for this? Is ChatGPT
it's free? Yeah, it's awesome. Okay.
Somebody's making money off of that, right?
I think their name is Google. Sorry. Okay, getting here. Okay, ethics. So I said, Ryan, this is what I inputted into ChatGPT. I said, Ryan wants to talk about the ethics of AI. Please write an intro for Ryan and introducing people to what ChatGPT is and what the future of AI will look like. So this is ChatGPT talking about itself.
Okay.
Does this make sense of our...
Yeah.
Okay, so this is ChatGPT's intro for this section. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Funhaus Podcast. Today, I want to delve into a topic that's been on my mind lately, the ethics of AI. Now, you may be familiar with ChatGPT, our friendly language model trained by OpenAI, but have you ever stopped to think about what the future of AI will look like and the impact it will have on our lives? As AI continues to advance, it's important to consider the ethical implications and make sure we're using it for the greater good. So let's dive in and explore the exciting and sometimes daunting future of AI together. That was a nice little intro the AI wrote about AI, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but really, since we're obviously self-proclaimed artists, we're artists, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Kind of, yeah. I wanted to talk specifically about the ethics of AI and art.
Yeah.
So, have you seen these things where, you say, I want to see the Pillsbury Doughboy in the style of Jackson Pollock,
Yeah.
and then it just in 5 seconds it has this amazing.
Yeah, I've seen lots of stuff like that.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's super interesting. I think there's a bigger ethical issue when there's clearly there's some sort of art that's being referenced to by the AI to generate the art, and that there's companies who are charging for it, and that is an issue.
So if you're Jackson Pollock's estate and all of a sudden they're copying all these Jackson Pollocks, you think that you should get a cut of every AI-generated Jackson Pollock? That's kind of...
I mean, I don't really know how it'll work out. I just think that it's unethical to be referencing a bunch of art and then charge people to use the AI service to generate the art. Mm-hmm. And it's like just ripping off people's like artistic styles. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I basically agree with you, but counterpoint. People say, "Oh, all art is imitation in some way." Like you're basically it's how much you're hiding your influences.
Yeah.
That some people
clearly
call more original.
Clearly, though, the AI art is not hiding the influences enough.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they're just doing a bad job of it. So is that the fine line? Is that the gray area? Is how much you hide your influences? If all art is imitative of something,
Is it how much you hide your influences?
I'm not
I understand what you're saying.
Well. I'm not a computer, but do you understand what I'm saying?
I think the issue came that it was like the AI was charging you to use this like automated art service that would create your portrait in an artistic style, but there's another artist who does artistic portraits, and the AI used a bunch of their art to like basically put anybody's face in it. Uh-huh. When it's like now you're paying for this AI service instead of paying like the artist.
Now let's say hypothetically I'm a very good artist, mm-hmm. and I can in about 20 seconds make an amazing, like fully realized reproduction of someone else's art. Which I cannot do and is impossible. But I'm just saying, is it the fact that it's a computer doing this? If a human being could do it, would it be okay for them to charge to make a reproduction of someone else's art?
I mean, it's a good question.
That's why we're here. We're talking the ethics of AI.
I think that somebody would probably come along and probably have an issue with it.
Okay, but you don't personally.
I'm not personally involved.
Well, you are involved.
I'm paying you. Hang on a second. I'm paying you to redraw this painting one for one.
Right. You can come up to me. I have a stand on the boardwalk.
You'd be putting in the effort and doing the work. I'd probably be paying you for that.
So it's the effort involved that makes it a thing.
In this scenario, that's what I would be paying for you for.
Interesting. So I did say, hey, ChatGPT, come up with a list of discussion questions about the use of AI in art. And so ChatGPT, thank you for your list. You're going to be driving this discussion before our guests get here.
Did you pay ChatGPT to do all this work for you?
No, this is the best part about the future is that you never have to work again. You can just get ChatGPT to do whatever your current job is. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Some of these are kind of annoying or just lame and vague. Let's see. Can AI generate truly original and creative works of art? Do you believe that it's actually original? It's something that no one would have ever made on their own, but a computer made it. But is it actually original since they are just data mining all of the works in human history to...
Is it completely original? No, because I think that there's like the whole thing of like, is there anything completely original anymore?
Which is what we were just talking about, which is,
but is it completely unique? Probably. I think everything is completely unique.
Well, okay. What is that? Then that's a great ethical question. Not ethical question, but just interesting question. What's the difference between unique and original?
Original, I think, means like, nothing from before. Nothing has come from before.
Checks out.
Right? Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unique, it could be like many variations of something, but no two are alike. That is what unique is.
But
like
in this scenario, though, you're saying unique things can draw from other stuff.
Look, a shape, an original shape. You've
Whoa.
never seen this shape before.
I haven't. You're right. It's a little steamboat.
Each one is unique, but this one is no longer original.
Whoa.
Yo, he stopped smoking weed.
I know.
I'm drawing
now
shapes.
That I stopped smoking weed, somehow that blows my mind even more.
For those listening, I drew two shapes.
She drew two shapes that are very similar, but one of them was original, had never been invented before, and the other one was unique.
It's just unique.
It's just unique because it's not exactly the same, but it's not original. Wow, that was a really good. You should become an AI. Holy shit. So
my God.
To your point, how can we protect the intellectual property rights of artists who use the AI in their work? That was the 9th question that ChatGPT came up with.
I don't know the answers to these questions.
Well, they're discussion questions.
Okay.
They're not objective.
What do you think?
What do I think about that? I think it's a fucking impossible. I think that there's going to be, right now we're at the dawn of this shit, where everyone's like reacting to it. But flash forward to 4 or 5 years from now, we are opening this Pandora's box. I don't think anyone of us really know what the fuck's about to come from it. But I don't think there's any way in hell anyone's going to have any true like holding of their intellectual property.
Their own IP.
Just their own IP. I guess maybe blockchain shit could help out with that. But I think that we're fucked in terms of if you care about this kind of stuff, like intellectual property rights.
You mean non-fungible?
No, or all I'm saying is that there's going to be so much out there with everyone's face on it that and people are going to be making reproductions of everyone's aesthetics that who knows where it all started and what it began. People are going to be making copies of copies and copies of copies of copies of different inputs and stuff that pretty soon it's just going to be kind of, but you're not going to know what to believe.
But that's how things get better.
Well, I'm open to that interpretation of what's going to happen. Yeah. I think some people would think that this future is going to suck for artists, I guess, But anyway, let's move on. What role do... Oh, well, that's just a boring question. But anyway, back to this. Back to what we were just talking about. Here's my perfect future, okay? Or not, like a really fun thing that we'll be able to do in the future is that you'll be able to go to the movies, okay? And if you want, you'll go to the movies and it'll scan all our faces, or like as we enter into the movie, okay? And let's say we went and saw Fast and Furious 10. But then all of our friends and stuff, everyone that we went to the movie with, it's like they put our faces in real time on the characters in the movie.
You're seeing yourself
it's
in the
like
movie because they scanned your face.
They scan our faces, but it's like it looks perfect. It's like we're the stars of the movie, or you'll be able to do that with anything.
Well, so for example, Jacob has been playing a game recently, and I don't know if he's going to come through here today. He can elaborate. Is he coming by today?
No, he's not coming by.
So Jacob has been playing the game. What is that game called, Rick?
Star Citizen.
Okay.
So, and I don't know anything about the game. Again, he could elaborate on it. But basically, he turns his webcam on, and the game tracks his face. And so we'll be hanging out in Discord, and he's been showing us this. This is how I've seen this. And he records his gameplay to send us, and we see him, or we hear him talking, and then we see his character model doing like a bunch of crazy expressions and like talking to us. So like that's happening. It's just like the opposite. They're taking your face to create the animation, which already happens with like tracking and films and stuff like that. But like this is so specific. And like I just remember, it's the same thing with like the Snapchat filters and all that kind of stuff. But this is like, and in a game where it's so detailed, does that take a lot of power? And also, who's gonna have their webcam on all the time to like while they're gaming?
We're getting there, I have my Google Glass on at all times, other than when I'm on camera here at Funhaus. You know.
Where's your Google? Where do you keep your Google Glass?
It's just, you know, you haven't seen me walking around with it. You're supposed to go with this, Lindsay, and pretend that I actually have done it.
I've seen you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. I appreciate
I want you
that.
to, elaborate. That's why I challenge you.
I did ask ChatGPT. Well, hey, that sounds really cool. I want to play that game with Jacob. I did ask ChatGPT's opinion. I go, what is your opinion, ChatGPT, on the use of AI to generate art? And you know what it told me?
What?
This is very surprising. It said, as a language model developed by OpenAI, I don't have personal opinions or feelings. And I go,
That's
boring.
It's accurate.
Get a little personality, ChatGPT. So yeah, but obviously there's a whole other, the dark side of this whole stuff is, and it's kind of that's been in the zeitgeist a little lately too, is deepfake porns. We're in the land of
severely messed up.
Yeah, exactly. So this, in terms of the
there's
ethics
the whole issue of consent.
Well, yeah, specifically for you putting a photoreal thing of somebody else on sex content. But yeah, that's like the I feel like that's going to be where it starts in terms of it being ubiquitous. You know what I mean? You're going to Pornhub is just going to have Tom Cruise fucks Taylor Swift and Kanye, and and then you're gonna go, okay, who do I want in my little fictitious orgy here, and yeah, not that you should, but that's what kids, teenagers are going to be doing, for the next 20 years.
Don't give them any ideas.
All right, maybe we should just move on from this topic. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to describe the hellscape we're living in. Okay,
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, everyone. In the few minutes before we have Charlotte come by, we're going to open up ChatGPT and have Lindsay ask it some questions,
Okay.
What do you want to know in life? You can literally know anything right now.
I can literally know. I don't know. What do I want to know in life?
That's up to you. I mean, I don't know what you want to know.
Can you, okay, actually I have a good one. Can you make it give me like how would I word this? I don't even know how. Oh, you have an account.
Oh yeah, I'm way deep into this. Yes. What are you going to ask me?
I don't even know how it really works. You have to give it. You have to ask it questions.
I have a little chat section. I can do anything. You can literally say anything to this thing and have a whole conversation. Or tell it to do something. It obviously has to involve words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hit me with your best shot. Lindsay Washburn, what do you want to ask an all-knowing, all-seeing computer?
Can you ask it what the next week's podcast topics should be?
What should next week's
Funhaus
Podcast topics be?
With Ryan and Lindsay.
With Ryan and Lindsay. Okay, what are you going to tell us?
All right, how long
here?
does it take? Let me see. I get to do...
Boring. It's saying it doesn't have.
Oh. Right?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, it is telling us. This is perfect. These are great ideas. I'm reading it in real time. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Wow, it knows about Funhaus here.
Okay, so
okay, yeah, go for it.
It gave a bunch of like suggestions. Gaming news and trends. They could discuss the latest gaming news and releases.
It's a good idea, ChatGPT. Good job, ChatGPT.
As well as share their thoughts on the current state of the gaming industry, which, no, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Pop culture. Talk about movies, TV shows, books, and other
we've
forms.
never talked about pop culture
We've
before.
never done it.
That's a good idea, ChatGPT.
Technology. They could discuss the latest advancements in technology and their impact on the world. Personal stories. They could share personal stories and experiences. These are general podcast
Yeah, but
topics,
it's a really good,
current
really
events,
good ideas, ChatGPT.
Q&A, they could dedicate an episode to answering questions from their fans. But this one's funny. This one's interesting because it says Funhaus traditions. They could revisit some of the Funhaus traditions, such as stupid stuff in GTA.
I remember that
or
tradition.
bad driving montages.
Where the fuck did they get that?
I don't know.
And then at the end, it has a little addendum. Remember, these are just suggestions, and Ryan and Lindsay might have different ideas for their podcast. Well, thanks for telling us, ChatGPT, that we're not forced and stuck with your shitty ideas.
I'm seeing. So I don't read this out loud yet because we're gonna have a special guest hopefully next week. But I'm trying to get it to write. Does it normally take this long?
Yeah, it takes a second because there's like all of.
Oh my God.
Scanning through all of human history. Oh wow! So it's writing a script. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to?
Yeah,
set,
no, I
set
just.
this up? Set up
It's
what your
writing a
inputs were.
script live, so.
She said the input was write a script for the Funhouse podcast next episode with special guest Brett Hundley featuring Ryan and Lindsay. Oh shit! Were we supposed to say that?
Well, it's fine because hopefully he's here, and if not,
Okay.
just. If he's not, we have to also cut this out.
Do you want to read it?
Well, it's not the right Brett Hundley. It says, today we have special guests with us, former NFL quarterback Brett Hundley.
Of UCLA. UCLA's Brett Hundley. That's what I was going to say.
All right.
We're big fans of your work on the field. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited to be here.
Wow. And, and then this is your line. That the good luck on the field line was apparently from me. That's what ChatGPT thinks I would have written. Brett, it's great to have you here today on the Funhouse Podcast. We're big fans of your work on the field. And then Lindsay would say,
So, Brett, we know you're a huge gamer. What are some of your favorite games you like to play in your free time? Brett says.
And Brett says,
I love playing first-person shooters. This is not right at all. Anyways.
All right. Anyway, we have a very special guest in the pod today. Actually, with a new nickname, Philly Shar.
What's going on, guys? I just had to pop down the 95.
I assume that's a
Stop
Philly
in
reference.
here.
Okay.
I mean, it's running alongside the Delaware, and also I had to chow down on a hoagie before I stopped by.
That hoagie.
I had a hoagie. I'm drinking a cup of coffee right now.
We're using ChatGPT to like write the podcast.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I don't think that that's what this segment is.
Should be Philly
but
Shar.
I just can't
Well,
stop.
I mean, Philly Shar, I like artificial shit.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What did you only say that because you could pronounce it in that
Artificial?
Yeah, like
no,
that?
I don't. I mean, if I did have to fake a Philly accent, I would be bad at it. But I don't have to because I have one, and that's Go Birds.
And specifically, would you call this a Philly or a Delco accent?
Well, there's Delco, and then it's pretty close to North Philadelphia.
North Philadelphia.
Yeah, so you go down from South Philly, Pattinson and Broad exit. That's where the Eagles play, and the Phillies.
Eagles.
And you go up the Broad Street line, and that takes you to. Now I'm doing like a surfer, bro. That takes you to Northeast Philly. That's where all my family lives.
Well, Charlotte, you had a big weekend this weekend because your team, the Philadelphia Eagles,
Won the Super Bowl. I'm so stoked that they won. I want to give congratulatory Wawa gift cards to every player. I'm so proud
Charlotte.
of my boys.
I know you didn't watch, but they didn't win. They didn't win.
I'm proud to announce my new character, Kansas City Shar.
I'd love to hear this. How do those people talk?
What happens there?
The Eagles bit the dust
There's
with the Bengals.
Nothing going on.
Dude, what's even a Kansas City accent?
Well, so what was
Well,
your
we don't have to do that, yeah.
Philly Shar?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your take on the game? What happened in that game? It was a really exciting game.
Oh, it was great. Doug Peterson coaches like no other, and Nick Foles can throw a football like no one else. And I want to shout out Darren Sproles.
Okay.
Which
shout out Darren Sproles.
And Donovan McNabb is on the team too.
That's more than I know.
Right.
I know zero.
Titans gave you AJ Brown for nothing.
I was so upset that Carson Wentz got hurt this season.
Oh man, me too.
Yeah.
I also I inputted because I didn't really have much for this section, so I told ChatGPT, write some hilarious jokes for Ryan to say during the new podcast. Try and incorporate the Super Bowl.
Now, ChatGPT is a pretty powerful artificial intelligence chat bot, right? But as I understand it, with AI stuff, you have to be very purposeful with the prompts you enter it.
Yes.
You're talking like as if you're slacking someone.
No,
That's kind of what ChatGPT is.
It
It's
gave
creepy.
me a million.
All right, let's see it.
Okay, so This is just imagine I just said this impromptu, and it's
Okay,
really
got it,
hilarious.
yeah.
The Super Bowl may be the biggest event in sports, but the Funhaus Podcast is the biggest event in internet comedy. Who needs a championship trophy when you have a trophy of laughter?
Wow, it is over for people that tour small to mid-sized business conferences doing stand-up. Wow, talking about collating and and expense reports and making comedy off that.
Lindsay, will you say one of these so that you sound smart and funny?
Can I read one? I'm California Charlotte now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll do one and then you do the
I
next
like
one.
The beach.
You know what's better than a touchdown during the Super Bowl? A touchdown of laughs on the Funhaus Podcast.
That's true, though.
Lindsay, you crack me up.
I know.
Can I do one?
Yeah.
Yeah, please. California Shark.
3 through 6.
Okay, 3 through 6.
You can just read the next
Okay.
one, yeah.
You know what's more exciting than a nail-biting finish to the Super Bowl? A nail-biting finish to a hilarious burrito of the Funhaus burrito. Okay, I think it broke.
Burrito?
Yeah. Let me try another one.
Okay.
The Super Bowl may be the biggest event in sports, but the Funhaus Podcast is in the pool. Well, maybe
In
it's
the
hold on.
pool?
Is in the. Let me try the next one. Why watch the Super Bowl when you can listen to Ryan and Lindsay on your mom's Mom Do the Mom podcast? Now, see, I think it's
It broke.
breaking.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think it's
broke.
working.
Well,
On the fly comedy here, everybody.
I am way worse at this than an AI. I could barely think of in the pool. You saw steam coming out of my ears? Come on.
now I did know you were going to think they were really funny, Lindsay. So I did have ChatGPT, but I know it's hard to come up with a response to my funny jokes. So I did have ChatGPT write. I put in
cheap GPT.
write a hilarious response from Lindsay about Ryan's Super Bowl jokes.
You
Okay.
guys should have a character named Chad GPT.
Okay.
That's
Ryan.
like, what's up?
I love you, but those Super Bowl jokes were as dry as a stale bag of chips on game day.
Oh, man.
I mean, they were flatter than a Patriots fan's hopes after they lost to the Eagles in 2018.
thought that was
but
yesterday.
hey, at least we have each other and the Funhaus Podcast to bring the laughs every week.
Wow.
Pat Mahomes' booty is so thick. Put that tongue away.
Oh my God.
My
ChatGPT.
God.
Did you ask it to do a Deflategate joke?
No, I it came up with that. It
You know
has
what's
a
not
mind of its
deflated?
own.
Pat Mahomes' booty.
Booty, yeah, that is inflated. We should check on that.
Now, before we go to a break, I knew I was going to be sad with you making fun of my cool Super Bowl jokes. So
Oh.
I did get ChatGPT. I said, Ryan is sad that Lindsay made fun of his Super Bowl jokes. Write dialogue for Ryan to say in reply to Lindsay making fun of his jokes.
Okay.
And this is what it got for me. Ouch, Lindsay. Those burns are colder than an ice cold beer on Super Bowl Sunday. I thought I had some good ones in there. And then it said you would say, I don't know how it knew this, but it's in
I would say, sorry, Ryan, but sometimes the truth hurts. But don't worry. I'm sure you'll come up with some zingers for our next episode.
thanks for the vote of confidence, Lindsay. I'll make sure to step up my game for the next one. In the meantime, let's just enjoy the Super Bowl and maybe even come up with some better jokes together.
Sounds good, Ryan. Let's go do this. And go Pat Mahomes' booty.
Okay, that was the real intelligence faltering. Let's go do this. I want to make sure that chat is cleared. Its name is cleared.
This seems like a normal conversation we would have.
Yeah, I've heard you guys have this conversation hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times.
Actually, we were going over the ship hit script, and it turns out the vent from our office leads right into Patrick's. So we heard you going and yelling, and it was coming straight into the room. That's why I came by and looked in from the side.
Well, we have to do an ad break here in a second, but when we come back from the ad, we're going to have Charlotte recite a new Philadelphia Eagles theme song that was written by ChatGPT.
CharGPT.
CharGPT.
GPP.
2023 is well underway already, so don't wait any longer to level up your small business and set yourself up for success this year. Stamps.com lets you print your own postage and shipping labels right from your home or office. It's awesome. It's ready to go in minutes, so you can get back to running your business sooner. You even get access to the USPS and UPS shipping services you need to run your business right from your computer at any time, day or night, 24/7. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. And if you sell products online, Stamps.com seamlessly connects with every major marketplace and shopping cart. in existence, probably. That's why Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses for 25 years. I actually have a friend that runs a small business in Memphis, Tennessee, and she says that it helps her a lot. So I can vouch for this service. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code FHPOD. Get a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale at www.stamps.com/FHPod. Thanks to Stamps.com for sponsoring this show. Kick off the year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much, much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair I've ever worn. Plus, Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. So if you lose or break a pair, even on day one, they'll send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order and have donated over 20 million meals to date. That's awesome. So you can look good in your gear and feel good by making an impact. I'm somebody who loses habitually every single pair of sunglasses I've ever bought in my entire life. So to have a relatively cheap pair of sunglasses that also make me look really cool and they feed people, I can't ask for a better service than Shady Rays. And if you don't love them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. I always just return mine so that it looks like I'm a guy who can afford new awesome sunglasses every month. But that's just me. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to ShadyRays.com and use code FHPOD for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's almost half. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. So go to ShadyRays.com and use code FHPOD for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Thanks, Shady Rays, for sponsoring our podcast. Welcome back from the ad break, everyone. Charlotte, I did not write. I told my this satanic computer here to
That's my laptop.
And it needs Jesus.
I said, please write a new theme song for the Philadelphia Eagles, because before they got to the Super Bowl in the playoffs, when we were watching a game together, you must have sang the Philadelphia Eagles theme song. What would you say, 50 times?
Boomer Sooner.
The fly, Eagles, fly
on the road to victory. But that's over. That's out.
It's out.
It's done.
Okay, yeah. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Not once. So that's why, obviously, we need new blood here. ChatGPT is going to write the new song. So if you would like to, in any melody you want, either the old one or a new melody, sing this new theme song.
You can pick like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, you can pick. Do as much or as little as you of this as you like.
I'm going to do the first verse and the chorus.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then I'll talk a little bit about the bridge, just in like a song exploder kind of way.
Okay.
All right.
This is impromptu.
Rising up from the ashes, it's the city of brotherly love. With the spirit of champions, we rise up and show what we're made of. Philadelphia Eagles soaring high. I went in hot on that one. Sorry. Philadelphia Eagles soaring high. With the will to win and heart so true. Bringing the fight and never giving. And we are the Eagles and we're flying through.
Flying through!
Wow.
It's wordy. It's wordy.
That's
I'm
a
not
pretty good
sure.
one.
Knowing as many people as I do from Philadelphia, that might be a little tougher for people to chew on than Fly Eagles Fly. But we could definitely make it work. There's a little bit in here about, it's funny, there's a specific right off the top about brotherly love and then nothing else about Philadelphia or the Eagles.
Seems pretty
Spirit
generic.
of champions, stand tall and proud, a symbol of our city's art. Weird. Because the symbol of Philadelphia's art is a big clothespin.
Is that true?
Yeah, right outside City Hall. It's this giant clothespin.
Oh.
Okay.
What about the love thing? Doesn't it say love somewhere?
Yeah, Love Park.
I thought it was that.
I mean, that is what it's
bell
called.
crack.
Sometimes I think it's the big silver bean, and I go, no, it's not Chicago.
That's Chicago. Yeah, it's Millennium Park.
Yeah. Well, I knew
Anyway.
that.
I kind of want to prompt it. Keep going.
Real quick. Sorry, I got one more thing here. Wait, where was this?
This is some.
Yeah,
us?
it's
Is
still
us
you.
talking?
Yeah, it's still because with the roaring success that new theme song for the Eagles, I'm
Huge,
sure
yeah.
is going to be. I also got it to write a new Chiefs song, but I gave it a little bit more of a prompt.
Okay.
So bring out Kansas City, Shar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I said, please write a theme song for the Kansas City Chiefs as well, but please include the words "funky butt lovin'" and "fat Mahomes." So take it away, Charlotte.
All right, let me tap into my Kansas City accent. Let me just think of it. Kansas City, the red and gold rain, where the Chiefs play, it's all about the game. With Fat Mahomes, they've got some funk. They're always ready to raise the junk. And let's do it together. Funky butt lovin', we're here to cheer for our Kansas City Chiefs. They bring in the heat with their winning spirit. They never retreat. Funky butt lovin' for our football team. Thank you. I'm leaving before you make me read more AI stuff.
That was a great outro, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Give Philly Shar, Kansas City Shar, and California Shar a big round of applause. Wow, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
What are you entering into ChatGPT right now, Lindsay? Before we have our next guest come?
Don't worry. Something's happening in the background. Don't look at it.
Don't look
at it.
All right.
But who's the next guest on the Funhaus Podcast?
Well, that next guest is a, well, I'll just tee him up. You might have met him before, but he recently got me really into this thing called speedrunning. Do you know what speedrunning is?
Yeah.
What is speedrunning to you?
Speedrunning like a game?
Yes,
Speedrunning? Yeah,
a video
you just
game.
try to do it as fast as you can to win.
I had always heard about speedrunning, you know, and he would try to talk about it. Our guest that's going to come, that you probably don't know, and it would just, it would glaze over my brain. I'm like,
yeah,
who gives a fuck? But then I just watched a documentary about it,
right?
And now I'm really into it, and now I want to go to games done slow or fast. I mean,
games done quick.
Yes, quick. And with our guest, and ladies and gentlemen, he's here early. It's our new guest, John Smith.
Hi.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
That's the crowd.
So I've set up the people. They all know that now I'm a speedrunner.
Yes.
I'm really into speedrunning now.
You did great at NFL Blitz.
I did. Thank you. I appreciate that. I tried to speedrun we had a Cinemoji speedrun today because I was so inspired by our speedrunning conversations.
I'm sorry I missed that.
It's okay.
I was having issues.
Don't worry about it.
You were a speedrunner. Before you quit smoking weed, you would speedrun your blunts, right?
That's not a... Does that count?
It's funny, okay? And ChatGPT didn't write it. I said it.
Everyone
it's
does
original.
People do get mad at me for making the blunts run because I, for some reason, don't know how to inhale right this stuff. So like, when I hit the blunt, I was like, oh my god, it's like a sailboat or something. It's all fucked up now. Who did that? Oh, it was Ryan.
Speedrunning is a mindset. It's not specific to video games.
Okay, see, I didn't even know that. What is your favorite game to speedrun, John?
Well,
tell us about your history with the sport.
I'm more just interested in speedrunning.
Okay.
I more watch speedruns.
You're not a speedrunner yourself.
Well, I did do, for a long time, I did casual speedruns in Dark Souls, which is that I wouldn't follow what everyone else did, and I wasn't trying to get the minimum time. I would just try to beat it with a set of parameters as quickly as I could.
Set of parameters, like you...
Like I do magic only, or pyromancy only, or dex, things like that. You know those words.
Yeah, I get the concept at least.
Yeah.
I don't understand the words, but yes, I get the concept. And in terms of, so you're an audience member of this kind of thing. What's your favorite thing to watch as a consumer? Speedrunning.
So Ryan, am a fan. I think I was telling you this previously at a party. I like the speedruns that don't have any RNG, which
random number generator.
Exactly, which is basically shorthand for any randomness that can happen in the game. Like, say an enemy has 4 different attacks, like a boss has 4 different attacks. One of them is the quickest, and you can kill the boss the quickest, but you have to wait for that attack to come. There's no way for you to like bait it out. So that's RNG, where there's a lot of games where they'll be on a world record pace, but then they'll get to a place where there's RNG and they'll just get fucked.
Right.
A good example is in Wind Waker. Did you ever play
a game everyone knows?
Yeah, a game everyone knows. Legend of Zelda, one of the biggest GameCube games.
Oh.
There is this mini game where it's basically battleship. They're battleships.
Yeah, I love Battleship.
Yeah, that's all it is. And there's no way to cheese it. There's nothing. And that will just kill runs. And that's generally, I think that's only in the 100% speedrun where you have to get all of the collectibles.
Okay.
So that's like, I think a 6-hour speedrun or something like that, where 4 hours in, you then reach this point where it can just kill your run. It's insane. But so I really like the Zelda games. There's this speedrunner named Gymnast86.
Okay.
I don't think he was born in the year 86, by the way. I don't know where that number comes from. He does all the Zelda games. He really great because he's just chill. There's his companion, Linkus, who's also great, but he's very, very on the whole time. It's just not my gig. I like relaxing when watching speedruns. There's another speedrunner named Distortion2. He does all of the Dark Souls 100% things, like all bosses. I'm all about, basically, to wrap back around, I like the ones that have no RNG, it's all skill, and they're the longest. So it's like all bosses, 100%. And Super Mario 64, 120 stars. You get every single star. It's 90 minutes of frame-by-frame execution.
That's honestly what I liked about it. Yes, Lindsay.
Question: if they mess up, do they start over?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes. So when you're on a world, when the top people, they have got it to where they're trying to save frames or seconds in these runs. If they mess up and lose even like 6 seconds, if they know that the rest of their run, their previous one, like their record, they did really well in the second half, then they'll stop. But a lot of the records, because there's no perfect speedrun. I think the only one that's like...
That you know of.
Well, the only one that I know of is, I think, Original Mario, where it's like it's been at like 4 minutes, 58 seconds or something for over a decade. It's stuff like that where there's no one's going to make any progress. But then a lot of these speedrunners, they have the world record, but they made a few errors throughout the run. So even if they mess up and they lose time, they know, oh, I can make that time up at this part where I messed up on my record run. But it is a thing where like they'll be 80% of the way through and they'll just stop.
That's kind of what I like got me into thinking that was really funny and interesting is that yeah, you could be doing perfect execution and they know every single best practice, I'll call it, or whatever, to get on the run. And then, like you're saying, 3 hours in or something for these super long ones, I go, well, there's no point in even continuing.
Yeah.
But another thing that's interesting is that if you have a good run, you know, if you go, okay, this is the perfect run, you pretty much know, like, because you played it so many hours, that there's nothing else to fucking take advantage of. Right, but until someone discovers a new loophole in the game, so it's almost like the game is certain games kind of have way more of that. It seems like than others.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain.
There's this
right.
YouTuber named Summoning Salt.
Yeah, he's the one that made the documentary.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he's the narrator and writer of this doc.
Yeah. He does a lot of like history of this game, history of that game, and it's funny because when he was first getting started, I think I don't think he had a history in writing or editing or anything. If you watch his early videos, he uses the same phrases like 10 times throughout the video in all of his videos because it's the same cycle where everyone will do runs, get it to like this perfect number. No one can beat it. And then 2 years later, a new trick is discovered that shaves 15 seconds off.
Right, yeah.
So then it's months of everybody doing it again, trying to get a good enough run to where they get under that number. Because it's not like that's a free pass. You get a save and everyone then breaks that record. You still have to get a great run, which can take a long, long time.
Where do people get all the time?
I don't know.
There's enough out there if you take advantage of it.
Yeah, like I can't even stick to one medium, like creating stuff. I bounce around on like an hourly basis. Like working on a game and then working on music and all this stuff. Like I've never finished anything.
Is there a game that you think you would have a good shot at getting in the conversation with, top 50?
Well, there are a lot of games that don't have an active community. So like the Dark Souls games, the Zelda games, the Metal Gear Solids, all those popular games, they have huge communities to run. But at things like GDQ, which I think you mentioned, Games Done Quick, is it semi-annual or biannual? It's semi-annual.
It's two a year.
Biannual would mean every 2 years. So it's semi-annual. It's in the winter and the summer. They do this 7-day long, 24/7, where they're bringing in all these different streamers, or all these different speedrunners. They don't all stream. Just speedrunning for 7 days straight. And a lot of the games featured, they're like, nobody really runs this game. Like, we love having people join the community, join the Discord. Like, people are really helpful. Like, that's the cool thing is there's all these communities around each and every one of these. And for these games that are lesser known, or maybe not lesser known, but lesser run, you can really get a lot of support. It's not like you just have to sit down and figure out how to do it. Everything's been figured out by a lot of people.
Yeah. That was the other interesting thing watching it was that it's like, yeah, you're speedrunning, and if you find some new loophole, that's cool, but you are kind of contributing to the greater speedrun knowledge for everyone to take advantage of after you've nailed it.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing is that there's subsets of speedrunners where there's people who like
100%ers.
100%ers. But even within just the development of a speedrun, there's glitch hunters, which they like fucking with the game, seeing how to break it. And then there's people that like routing, which is that, in a game that's not completely linear, and if you can like break through a wall and get to a later part of the game early, they figure out which is the most efficient route to take. And then there are the people that just wait for all of that to be done and a route to be established, and then they just pound it out.
One funny thing, one funny storyline in this doc was, and you probably know about this, but I thought it was interesting, was that the guy who had this mysterious speedrunner that no one had met before, he was really good at running Metroid, I think, and he got the world record, but there's this part, even though he had a world record pace, he still went out of his way at the end of the thing to save all the animals that had been imprisoned in Metroid. And it was almost like a statement he was making. He's like, all right, even though I'm getting this amazing score, I want to save the animals at the end. I don't want to win this game and leave the animals to die. So then it became now at every game,
every GDQ,
they're like, people are donating to either save the animals or leave the animals to get killed for what the speedrunners are going to do.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
What would you vote for, Lindsay? And we're gonna judge you based on what you say.
You will, guys, save the animals.
Oh, okay.
Save the animals?
Save the animals.
Yeah.
All right,
that's cute.
cool. That's Funhouse's stance.
Typical.
Save the animals.
I speak for everyone here. I mean, on that one, probably, yeah. I think it's safe to say.
Now, before you came here, we were talking about AI and
Yes.
AI art.
Okay.
Now, is there any AI that can be stuff that can be used for speed running?
Oh, you don't want to talk about AI art and my opinions on AI art?
Well, we already did
We
that.
have
Yeah,
discussed that,
we would love to. What are your opinions on it all?
I don't know everything that you guys discussed, but
We probably didn't discuss it very well.
Well, I was looking into it because watching Black Mirror, I feel like is a good kind of in the public zeitgeist example of a possible future of AI, which is that it will reach a point where it's sentient and sapient and just like humans. And there will be, who knows how long it takes, or if like they crack down on it and don't let it happen, AI rights that will be similar to human rights.
Okay.
This is far in the future. And the argument with AI art right now is that the art is stolen. And I originally thought that meant that people thought that the AI was basically just recreating works that had already existed. But what it actually is, or from the research I've seen, the research that I did, which was very little, the argument is that the artists don't want essentially their art to be shown to the AIs. Because they're commercial products, they're not seen as these entities, they're just seen as a product. These companies are taking their art and feeding it through the AI without permission.
That's what I was describing earlier. It's like using that as a reference to generate the art.
But in my opinion, if we were to look at it as, instead of it being an AI and it being a person, you're basically saying you can't look at this art, pretty much.
I get what you're saying.
You mean because you're already thinking of the AI as a sentient being.
Yeah.
So you're saying that they have the right to look at this art.
And that they're not being shown a couple dozen pieces of art. They're being shown millions and millions of works. And that is just feeding into the neural network of what it inspires them, quotes,
right,
to create their own original works.
I think there's another element to that issue, though, in the fact that these AI writers are charging to use their service.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying, is that I'm looking at it as almost like an ethical issue, but there are grounds for it being a legal commercial thing like that, where profits are being made.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes it unethical.
Yeah. But what I think is that maybe these AIs shouldn't be owned at all. And also,
he is speaking for AI rights.
but
So
I mean,
you shouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah, but also
them.
what that wraps back around into, Lindsay, is the whole idea of copyright and ownership of things, and that's a whole other argument, because the current copyright laws are almost the exact opposite of what they were when they were established, which is that
because Mickey Mouse did it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The Disney lobbyists and other people that wanted to keep making profits off of these things. When copyright was first introduced, it was involved with patents, and it was to protect smaller creators from the corporations coming in. Like, say someone creates this new cool thing that revolutionizes an industry, but they don't have the money to like get out there and sell it. A corporation could just see it and go, or just a rich guy, I guess, at that point. See it and just wipe them out with whatever. So the idea was to protect them for that for a short period of time, and then everything would go into the public domain very quickly, and then everyone would have access to everything, because they knew that that's how new things come. That when you remix something, there's this docu-short series called Everything is a Remix, where he really goes over that whole thing.
There's a book called Free Culture by Lawrence Lessig too, similar topic.
Yeah. So I am kind of a very liberal, or maybe even circle back around to libertarian views on it. I don't know much about politics, but I think that art should not be owned by anyone ultimately. I do think people could make a profit off of it, but I think pirating games is fine. If you don't have the money and you want to play a game, if you're a poor college student, or you're just down on your luck, pirate games and don't feel bad about it.
Well, now to your
point, will they send a letter to your house?
Counterpoint. As much as I love pirating games, you were talking about how new things, stifling innovation and stuff. Isn't there an argument to be made that if everyone's just pirating games, then that would stifle innovation? Because then what's the point of making games for some of these big?
I think there should be people,
corporations.
Are you going to say it should be income based?
Well, no. I mean, they've found that the pirating of games and pirating of music actually helps spread the word of these things, and actually inevitably increases their profits. No, I promise you, this has been discovered by game developers and stuff, and some of them have spoken publicly about it, about how it's a truth that will always happen no matter what, and it's like you can put in blockers, but it's going to happen, and there are some positive benefits to it.
I like where I go to like a website and I'm trying to get a product. Usually it's like a digital product, and it's pay what you want. And I go 0, 0, 0.
Yeah.
Thank
or
you.
I think on itch, there's the link that just says, just take me to the download.
Yeah, take me to the download.
But to circle back around to speedrunning, it's not currently AI, but there are these things called tasks, which I think is something like tech-assisted speedrun.
Okay.
Where speedrunners will program it in, and those are the ones where like they find the optimal speed run, and then RTA is the term for like real time something, where it's when you're actually playing it in real time, and no one can ever beat the task because that's like the perfect speed run, and it's all being operated like on what they call sometimes there's things that are subframes, like it's below the frame rate of what you, or above the frame rate of what you can do.
This is beyond my comprehension.
I understand. I fully understand.
But then also, I actually saw this talk at a creator, what are they, Makers Convention or whatever, Maker Space,
Makers Mark Convention,
something like that.
Ooh,
this YouTuber, I don't remember what his name is, but he was using machine learning to learn how to play games, and cool. That is becoming a thing, and because it's, you learn through experience, and that's basically what machine learning is you just run things over and over and over and over, and it takes the best results and then runs those over and over and over. And I think it was a racing game that he ran the AI, and like over hundreds of thousands of iterations, maybe even more than that, the AI, the neural network, whatever you want to call it, just became really, really good at the game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean that's a very simple game where it's you have gas, brake, and turn. But I mean, the more advanced everything gets, the more it's going to expand, and like pretty soon you'll be playing bots that are not just running straight into walls and stuff. Like they'll be just wrecking you.
Wow.
Well, everyone, this has been a very fascinating discussion on all sorts of things. Oh yeah, Lindsay.
So before we wrap everything up here, can I have a segment on this podcast?
Sure. Now
it's a quick segment.
You said wrap up. I actually did input the wrap up. I got the AI write the outro.
Before we do that,
are you telling me when Ryan produces, he just takes all the segments and he just monologues at you the whole time or something?
Yeah, it's great. I don't have to do anything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, this time I got a computer to write the monologues.
So real quick, I just had ChatGPT write us a beautiful, quick theme song.
Okay.
So while John's here, and
you can call me Ron.
So I thought I could read the first, and then you could read the second, and then there's a third. There's 2 verses and a chorus, and I think that's enough. And then there's one that I added that I'll read after. So I'm gonna say, Funhouse, where the jokes fly high, with Ryan and Lindsay and Rick by our side. We're here to make you laugh and have a good time. Talking games, tech, and all things combined.
Funhouse, the place to be, where we get silly and just be. Join us every week, you'll see. We'll make you smile, guaranteed.
Ryan and Lindsay bring the humor and the fun. Rick's the tech guru, second to none. We'll take you on a journey through the week with games, movies, and all sorts of geek.
And
Look out!
This is an addendum because John's here. John's the man with style and grace. He stops by, adds to the place. With insights and jokes, he's got it all. He's part of the Funhouse family. We'll show you love the call.
Love the call. What the fuck?
Funhouse, the place to be. Thanks, John.
Wow. Well,
For
thank
sure.
you, ChatGPT. I mean, everyone thank ChatGPT.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
You've been half of this podcast.
And that's the other thing. It's just gonna get more and more.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's like everybody's saying like don't use AI. It's like radio salesmen just being like don't buy TVs.
Yeah, we just taught it like a whole bunch of shit too.
Yeah.
So I did, I wanted to kind of sum all this up in a beautiful way, right? And I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
So I said, please, ChatGPT, write a beautiful outro for the Funhouse Podcast. Take elements from our conversations about the Super Bowl, AI art, and speedrunning to tie everything up together in a nice bow. And please make me sound very smart and clever. So everyone, be prepared.
Okay.
This is that. And so, as the Funhouse Podcast comes to an end, we reflect on the journey we've taken, my friend. From the excitement of the Super Bowl's grand stage to the wonders of AI art, a technological age. Speedrunning, a skill that requires such grace. It's a testament to the human spirit, a relentless pace. And just like the players out on the field, we too strive to reach our goals and push our limits to truly come alive. So let us take these lessons and apply to our lives, to strive for greatness, to push beyond our own skies, to be the best we can be, to reach for the stars, and to always remember the Funhaus Podcast is ours.
Whoa. Yo, I'm ready to run through a wall right now. I'm so ready.
See you next time.
I got goosebumps.
See you next week on the Funhaus Podcast with Ryan, Lindsay, and whoever the else fucking comes by. Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye, everybody.